The cafe was quiet that evening, its vintage charm accentuated by the soft glow of dimly lit bulbs and the gentle hum of background music. He sat at his usual corner table, his hands wrapped around a warm cup of coffee, staring absent-mindedly at the steam curling upwards. Memories filled the silence, woven into the air like a delicate tapestry he could not escape. The waitress broke his reverie. "Sir, should I bring something?" she asked hesitantly. "No, it's closing time. You can leave." "I'll lock up," he replied with a faint smile. The cafe was a sanctuary he had built from pieces of his past. Bread pudding was its specialty, not by chance but by design. As a child, he'd been denied the pleasure of savoring it in places he had loved. Now, it was his way of reclaiming that small injustice, offering joy to those who came through his doors. The bell above the door jingled softly. He looked up, and the world seemed to stop. She walked in. Dia. She looked nearly the same, her presence as commanding and graceful as ever. Yet her eyes were shadowed with the quiet sorrow of someone who had carried too much for too long. Their eyes met. Time shrank, decades folding into that one moment. "If I'd known this was your cafe, I wouldn't have come so late," she said, managing a faint smile. "You're here now." "Sit," he replied, gesturing to a table close by. She hesitated briefly but sat down, her posture soft and reflective. Conversation began slowly, words measured like steps on thin ice. Then the years apart dissolved, and they found a rhythm. Dia spoke of her life in London, how she had settled there, married, and raised her children. But a year ago, her husband passed away, and her children, now grown, had gone their own ways. "I came back to rediscover myself," she said, her voice tinged with vulnerability. "I've been trying to write again." "It helps." "For how long?" he asked. "A month," she replied. "But tomorrow, I'm leaving for Nainital. My sister is there, and the school nearby has offered me a teaching job." Her words hit harder than he expected. "Do you have to go?" he asked, trying to keep his tone even. "If it's about writing, you could do that here." She shook her head. "The tickets are booked. The city isn't the same for me anymore. There's nothing left for me here." His gaze fell, the weight of their shared history settling between them. "Do you remember the last time we met?" "How could I forget?" she whispered. "That day, there was nothing we could do to stop the inevitable. And today feels no different." They lingered in silence, words drying up, though emotions swirled fiercely. As she prepared to leave, she looked back at him one last time. "Take care," she said softly. And with that, she was gone. He stayed rooted to his chair, staring at the door long after it had swung shut. Memories, like ghosts, filled the cafe. Outside, the world moved on, like a river flowing ever forward, relentless and unstoppable.